Hello everyone, in this video I will show you our development news of KCS V2 firmware. This firmware we almost spent 1 year for developing and found the system structure and define the software function and make many new innovations on this V2 version. So this V2 version of KCS can use by KinCony A series board that used by the ESP32 module. Now we will look at some main functions of the KCS, and in future I will make some video talk about the KCS V2 and step by step tell you how to make some projector and make some different functions with the KCS V2. Okay, let's look at this. You can see this is KinCony online guide. You can see the service and use the online guide. We have updated this how to use KCS V2 firmware version for the KinCony board, and you can click and you will see many different new functions on the V2 version. And firstly we can see this V2 version we use for this so many different ESP32 module, and you can see here that almost many board can use this V2 version, and you can see here that have many different firmware. We are under testing and we will release it soon. And you will need and download this firmware from our KinCony form. Just from this form, you can download the newest firmware. And you can see that used by the ESP downloader tool, you can download the firmware and many different web page and new functions and some innovations. You can see so many web page on this online guide. You can see the details by yourself on this web page. And now I will step by step, we will look at some different web page in my controller. And this you can see that is A16S. And this board you can see that is AG. So the different board will download the different firmware, will have the different resource. You can see the menu is different. The A16S that will have output and input, so you can see because that have the relay is a relay board. But the AG that is for wireless, that for the IF433 MHz send and IF receiver and IR send and IR receiver. So you can see that board will have this RF menu and this IR menu. Okay, let's look at this AG board firstly, then we will look at this A16S board. You can see here that is, we will look at this RF and IR web page. So you can click, this is IR. So this time we have designed it. You can run your IR remote, your TV remote or your air conditioning remote or DVD or different just IR remote. You will be very easily. You can just click run signal and you can press this button and you can see that will running successfully. Because I have this AG board, so I press this button just in front of this board. So that will be very easily, you can see running successfully. And you can send it, just click transmit and this transmit successfully. So you can run your air conditioning and very easily. And you can integrate your air conditioning and to the home assistant is very easily, because sometimes some brand of air conditioning you will not have the library for the home assistant, but this time you just learning this remote and you can use the HTTP command or TCP command to integrate to home assistant very easily. So this is for learning and for send. Just you can learning the button 1, button 2, button 3 and button 4 with different IR remote. Okay, this is IR. You can see that is RF. The RF just you can learning the 433 MHz. You can also press this button for learning, and then you can press this button. You will learning this signal, maybe your garage door or maybe your door lock. You can learning this signal very easily. And after you learning, you can use this IFTTT command that will make the automation in locally without a cloud server, without a home assistant, without a ESP home. Just by this small PCB board work in locally. So we will show you the most powerful function, the IFTTT. And let's look at this RF. This is IR, and this you can see the monitor and the network. And because this board mainly is made by the IF and IR. Okay, let's look at this A16S board. And you can see this A16 board. You can see the software is a V2 version, and this is the firmware build time. And you can see the Ethernet IP address, and I have not used the Wi-Fi. You can set by the Wi-Fi. And here you can see the input web page, and that you can set the input just whether need to use the reverse level. Just the input is high level effective or low level effective. Just check this option or not check this option, so that will be easy. And this for input, just a digital input. And let's look at this output. The output is set for your relay output. You can see that you can see the hold down and the delay and the judging. So this hold down means you turn on the relay will be always on. And this delay, that means if I click this delay, maybe you can input 10. That means that this relay will open and after 1 second will auto off. Just as a monitoring function. And this can use by curtain and use for the motor. And this you can see that's you're judging. That means when you hold down the button, the relay will on. When you remove this finger, the relay will be out of. So this also can use for the motor or for the curtain. And you can see that is RF and IR because the A16S no IR inside, so that will just only see this RF receive module. So you can learning this RF receive module for use the remote to control your relay on and off. This just learning and makes the IFTTT function later. And this time we can use the sensor. You can see if your board have the GPIO, so that can define for your firmware sensor to use. So you can see the sensor you can support the DS18B20 and the DHT11 and the DHT22. So just configure which sensor you have connected, and then you can choose which unit of the temperature you will use. And if you can choose this DS18B20, that only for the temperature. And if you have choose the DHT11, so that you can use the temperature and the humidity. And this you can set the value that changed. This value will auto-upload to the client. And let's look at the monitor. The monitor, you will see many states of the whole system. And you can see this is sensor we have set to DS18B20, so that will be detect the real-time temperature sensor. And this will be see the state. There are many different protocol we have not disabled. If we disabled, that will be show the state whether it's connected or not connected. And this is analog input for the analog sensor, and this is for digital sensor, and this is for digital input, and this is for relay. You can see just for on and off. And also you can rename it. You can remove, double click, and you can remove it and rename. You can see here I just input, so that can rename very easily. And this is the monitor, and we can look at the network because this IFTTT is very powerful. Last I will show you how set to the IFTTT function. And this network we can click, and you can see that for the Ethernet, and this for the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi support AP mode or STA mode, the station mode. And this time we have support the GSM. So now you can use the SIM card. The 4G module will be support on this board. So you can see if you can enable this 4G module, that is SIM 6. This is SIM 7600, and you can input your phone number and administrative phone number. So there are 6 administrative phone number. This phone number you can use for the IFTTT function. You can use your mobile phone to remote control your relay by SMS short message, or by voice call, or by Tuya application. And also you can use this mobile phone telephone number. You can send the SMS to your mobile phone, or make an automation call to your mobile phone. So that for the notification and for the alarm message. So you can see at the top that have SMS control. So you can just input as a short message. If you want to turn on relay 1, so you can press turn on relay 1. So if you send the short message to this board, turn on relay 1, the relay 1 will be on. And this support different country language. So you can input your local language. If you are Russian, if you are Europe, you can input your local language. So that will be, you can use it. And this is short message notification. So that you can create some message will send to your mobile phone by the alarm message. And this you can see that is telephone country. That means you can press this such as 1, this end. That means when you press a 1 and this character, that relay will be on and will be off. So you can define for example 101, that is turn on relay 1, and 102, that is turn off relay 1. So this not need to use the mobile phone application, not need to use the SMS short message. Just press this button, press this phone number and press this number of the mobile phone. You can control this relay remotely. And this is for the GSM setting. And let's look at the next and this protocol. And we can click generate. So this board will support MQTT protocol, HTTP protocol, and TCP server, TCP client, and UDP server and UDP client. If your board have IS485, that will support Modbus. Oh, this you can see that is HA, that is KinCony HA small IS485 eject, so that you can use the older switch. So this will be support. And here you can see, click, this is Tuya. So if you want to use the Tuya mobile phone application, you just click enable and fill your Tuya lessons at these different sections and choose your server location. So that will be easy use Tuya. And if you want use this Tuya by 4G module, you just click enable. So if you no network, no Wi-Fi, no Ethernet, so you can use your SIM card, insert on the board and enable this GPRS. So you can use your board from GPRS and used by the Tuya application. That will be easy use in farm, use outside of your house. So this is about the Tuya setting. We have support the 4G. And here you can see that is customer protocol. And you can define what command you will send to different device. So this time, this customer device, so this customer protocol is very powerful. So you can define, you can such as define IS485 command or HTTP command or TCP command, and just click. And now you can define such as this URL or different command. You can use this command send to any KinCony product, so that any KinCony product will link with each other and make automation with each other. And not only can use for KinCony's product, but also you can use different the third part of brand of the product. So use KinCony's sensor or use KinCony's board and trigger another product, company product. No problem, just you know the protocol of the third product. Okay, you can see that can create so many different customer protocol you can use. And now let's look at the system. And in the system you can set some different settings for double click and hold down for the digital input. And this IF and this is the IR, and change the username administrator, username and the password. And let's look at the last IFTTT. This is the most powerful in KCS V2 firmware. So you can see I can click and you can create many, you can see many different IFTTT command, such as I can click this edit the number 1 IFTTT command. You can click edit, and you can input the automation name and whether enable or disable it. And this logic different condition, use AND or use OR with this logic. And so you can see the left window is if condition, and the right window is then, that is actions. So you can choose, this is which triangle. You can see this is digital, such as digital input for a triangle. You can see digital input 1 or digital input 6 because I have used A16S, so that will have 6 channel. And you can see the digital input, you can choose so many different conditions. Single click, double click, hold on, or logical true or false, or the edging, rising, or the fall edging. And this is both edging that used by the old traditional switch. So this time, the traditional switch can easily integrate to the ESP32 board very easily. I just use the digital input part. And this is for choose this DI, such as I can click DI, single click, so you can see it here. And this is analog input AI. So you can choose the analog input, maybe temperature sensor or humidity sensor or water level sensor or different energy analog sensor, and greater than or less than a value. And you can just apply. You can see this is the second addition. And this IF, we have learned this IF remote button. So which key have triggered, you can set and apply. And this you can set the timer, which day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and what time for a triggered 10, and click apply. And you can see this is SMS we have set, such as if you want to turn on relay 1, you just send the short message. The number 1 message is received as a triangle. And this is call. You can see if when I define the different call, so this call press 101 is turn on relay 1, or 102 is turn off relay 1. So this time you can choose this which call have telephoned your board. So there are so many different conditions, and this you can see the logic and if you have enabled this one, so that will be and or match the condition. And if you can disable it, just is used by the or condition. Just every condition is matched, so that will do this application actions. So you can see I can click this DO, that means digital output. And digital output, you want to turn on sound relay or turn off sound relay or toggling sound relay, just input at here. And this RF, so this you can send the RF signal you have learned, such as you want to turn on a lock or turn on garage door or open the door or close the door. So this can choose which RF signal you have learned. And this is a delay. This is not time. This is a delay because maybe your first action, the second action, in the middle you want to add the delay time. So that you can input, such as 1, that means 1 second delay time. And this you can see, click, that is customer protocol we have defined. So this we can send this customer protocol to the third product for the automation, just for the different product, triangle different product. So that will let this different product all work in one system, in locally. And this you can see, that is short message. This short message, you can define this 6 administrator send to which person and which short message content. That for around message or notification. And also, you can press this, you can call which person, because sometimes the short message will have the delay time. If you have some emergency thing, you want to tell your person immediately, so you can use this voice call. So that will be speed will be very fast and call this in voice. So this can be select, just click, choose, and together. And you just click save, so that you have create this ESP32 command. And after you create ESP32 command, you can choose enable or not enable, just for running or not running. So this is very powerful. It's ESP32 command, and this is the whole system. And you can set the input, you can set the output, and you can set the monitor, and you can enable or disable which protocol to use. And you can define the ESP32. All these functions and all this structure all defined in locally, just in ESP32 module, just in one chip locally. So that will be very safety, and that will be work without internet. And also this board and the KCS V2, you can integrate to Home Assistant very easily, just by MQTT or by TCP. And in next video, in future, I will make some different case for the KCS V2 and tell you how to make the project and how to make the automation very easily. Okay, thanks for watching.